We're going to start off the show with some breaking news. Oklahoma State Mike Gundy has been fired after being at the program for 20 years. Yes, 20 years. He is 58 now. He is, in fact, a man. Probably not anymore. He's probably going to cry now. No, I'm just kidding. He was the second longest active head coach in the FBS. Yeah, yikes. Yeah, this was his 21st season, actually. Yep, because 4 days after losing 19-12 to Tulsa on a Friday night. Can you believe that? Yeah. A weird scene because they also had their opening game on a Thursday and they barely won that as well. But on a Monday here on a conference here was Mike Gundy saying that I was going to talk about. He said, "I'm under contract here for I think 3.5 years. When I was hired here to take the job, ever since that day I put my heart and soul into this, and I will continue to do that." Until at some point, if I don't say I don't want to do it, or if someone else says you don't want to do it. Yep, Gundy will be owed $15 million by the university. Dang, yep, that is his buyout. Yep, his overall record is 170 wins over 90 losses from 05 to 25. Yeah, what a legacy. Mike Gundy said it, and it is alma mater. Let's see here. Who's going to be... So we got UCLA open, Virginia Tech open, and now Oklahoma State. This is the Slater Report podcast. Today's Tuesday, September 23rd. Sorry for the typo. I forgot to change it real quickly. I fixed it. But, right before, I know you're probably seeing this around 6 o'clock. I might post this show early before 6 o'clock, probably right after I finish recording. Just because this is so big breaking news. Yeah, I was seriously right about to record the show. And I have a breaking news report that, from ESPN, Mike Gundy has been fired. I am still shocked about it. Because, I mean, I'm not big surprised. I'm a little shocked. Okay? I mean, I know that there were pressures from, the boomers and the boosters, probably the boomers, the boosters, the fan base, just overall over there. It's like, it's unheard of for Mike Gundy to have a losing season and start off this way and lose to Tulsa. But, also, Big 12 play hasn't even started for him yet, so you could lose. It's quite possible you could lose all your he did win one non-conference game, but you could possibly lose almost all your non-conference games, win all your conference games, and make it to the playoffs. It is a possibility. I think that they should have let Mike Gundy finish the season. They should have let Mike Gundy finish the season. Yep. Yeah, it all went down. He seriously, won Bedlam. And barely. I mean, it was a bad call. Should have been pass interference. But anyway, won Bedlam. And since then, he has fallen apart. He's like, alright, I finally won Bedlam. I am out of here. That's pretty much how that went down. Alright. Had a game of the week last week. But first, we have a big game this week. Number 6 Oregon versus number 3 Penn State. NBC gets another big one. 6:30 on NBC. Yep, Oregon's 4-0, Penn State 3-0. I'll talk about this game later on, but yeah. our game of the week recap is gonna be really short this week. Number 9 Illinois versus number 19 Indiana. If you didn't watch the game, well, you don't have to, because here's the final score. Indiana won the game 63-10. 63-10. And it didn't even, that's not even the correct, scoreboard thing. Yeah, because obviously Indiana's final score was 10, and they only scored 3 points. I only had them only scored 3 points in there. They had they did have a touchdown in the first quarter. Yeah. Yeah, they were trying to keep it close, but it didn't last too long. Indiana took over the second quarter, and it was all them the rest of the way. So, who put up this many points? Oh, yeah. Oh, Fernando. Yeah, 21-30. Or he was past the 21 for 23, 91%. 91% on a top 10 team. Illinois, not a top 10 team. 267 yards, 7 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 2 sacks, averaging 11, almost 12 yards per play. Dang. Dang. Well, the head coach for Indiana said they couldn't stop us. We just kept going. They couldn't stop us. That was how that went. But yeah, that was not only the only upset of the day. We got others. It's now time for upset alert time. Starting off with Syracuse versus Clemson. Syracuse was able to handle Clemson really well. Clemson at home couldn't do anything. Are we gonna have another coaching fire before the season ends? Dabo is on the hot seat. Yep, 34-21 for Syracuse. Clemson, Dabo, where are you at? I mean, I'm very confused. This is the Clemson team, yeah, pretty much very similar Clemson team as last year, that went to the playoffs, beat Texas. No, I'm sorry, I think Texas lost, like, the next round, but, almost beating Texas, have the, majority of the starters coming back, the quarterback coming back, the defensive coordinator for Penn State last year is defensive coordinator now, and Penn State defense great last year. How in the world is Clemson this bad? Clemson probably was, Clemson was the preseason favored as one of the teams picked to win the national championship this year. They're 1-3 now. 1-3. California versus San Diego State. Well, California on the upset alert. Maybe California heading into this game, I think we're 3-0. San Diego State heading into this game, I think we're 1-2. Alright. Let California, I hope, put up a fight. Let's see the final score. Oh! What? 34-0. That is a face slap right there for California. What in the world happened to California in this game? Well, I guess they're back to being terrible. Alright, Arkansas versus Memphis. Gonna be a good one on an upset alert. It was a fantastic game for Memphis. Came down to the very end, 31 32. Memphis gets the W here. Well done. And, yeah, Arkansas, what is going on? You are now going to be at the bottom of the SEC now with this loss. And we have an overtime alert. North Texas versus Army. Ooh, boy, Army went to another overtime game. 45-38. North Texas pulls up the win. It is a back-and-forth game. North Texas started off strong. Army was getting right back, took over the game in the second quarter, and had the lead. And North Texas kind of slowly was hanging on, and then Army just took over the fourth quarter. North Texas had to make a touchdown late to send overtime, and then they scored in overtime to win the game. So what a win for North Texas right there. North Texas looks like a playoff team for sure. They might win the American Conference and head to the playoffs. Let's look at North Texas' upcoming schedule. They're 4-0. Yeah, this is their path to the playoffs. Road to the playoffs. Here we go. They got, next year they got, South Alabama. That's a W. South Florida. That is going to be a challenge. Going to be watching that game. UTSA, the Roadrunners. A challenge. Charlotte, W. Navy. Well, I don't really know where Navy stands right now. They're kind of in the middle team right now. UAB and Rice, those are W's. So North Texas, if they can beat South Florida and UTSA, North Texas might make their way to the playoffs. I'm calling it. Here's an early look. I'm calling it right here, right now. All right, do a scoreboard recap real quick, starting off with the ACC. Florida got dominated. They were hanging in with Miami for a while. It was, I think, 7-14 at halftime, and then they just, after that one touchdown, they just stopped playing. Miami went 26-7. Duke, on the other hand, win a back-and-forth battle with NC State, 45-33. Duke gets the win there. Now on to the Big Ten. A Friday Night Lights. Yes. Rutgers ends up beating Iowa. Iowa. They're putting up points now, and they're loving it. 38-28 over Rutgers for Iowa. Wow. Weird how both teams were, and it actually went to overtime as well. Both teams love scoring touchdowns, except for the third quarter and overtime, apparently. Some other big games around the Big Ten. That one, Michigan able to handle Nebraska on the road, 30-27. Another Nebraska one-score loss at home. Notre Dame handled Purdue 56-30. Finally, a W for Notre Dame. USC was able to go in a back-and-forth battle. What a battle that was. It's a late o'clock, too. I mean, USC ended up winning 45-31, but Michigan State had multiple chances to get back in this game. They probably could have had a chance to win this game as well. They just let USC score. Yeah, that offense is no joke. Lincoln Riley's offense is still Lincoln Riley's offense. And his defense is still the defensive fiend. Not at all. Maryland beats Wisconsin 27-10. On to the Big 12. We got number 17, Texas Tech versus number 16, Utah. Oh yeah, this is probably the game of the week, especially in the Big 12. Back and forth battle. Whoever had the ball. No. Yeah, Texas Tech handled Utah on the road. It was close for the first three quarters. Yeah, it was 10-3 to start the fourth quarter. And Texas Tech lit a fire, took over the game, and won 34-10. More scores around the conference. TCU beats SMU 35-24, and Arizona State beat Baylor 27-24. All right, and then oh, I think no, I'm not skipping these. Those are the big ones. These are some other ones. Points from the Big 12. UCF beat North Carolina at 34-9. I think North Carolina thinking we should have stuck with Mac Brown. Yeah. And Kansas beat West Virginia 41-10. BYU beat East Carolina 34-13. Colorado beat Wyoming 37-20. On to the SEC. Ole Miss handled Tulane 45-10. I guess Tulane not a top of the group of 5. And Vanderbilt get their revenge after losing to Georgia Tech last year. Beats them this time. Not only beating them, put up 71 points on Georgia Tech. And also the big game of the week from the SEC. South Carolina and Missouri was a battle. Missouri came up top 29-20. And the big group of 5 game of that week, I got two of them. UNLV beat Miami 41-38. UNLV was down, I think, 21 points at one point. You might want to double check me on that. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going based off memory from watching that game. UNLV is 4-0. They're a team. They're a dog. They're down by double-digit points. I know that for sure. Came back and won this game before it went to overtime in regulation, 41-38. And the Hawaii test. Hawaii had a chance to win this game, improved their resume. I'm really cheering for Hawaii in this one, but Fresno State pulled up the win, 23-20. Moving on to our teams that we cover. Starting off with the Jayhawks. Yeah, beating West Virginia 41-10. Like I talked about earlier. It was a big win for Kansas. Complete domination for Kansas right there. Wow. Just wow. Look at Kansas' upcoming schedule and their road trip to the Big 12 championship game, if they can get there. 11 o'clock on TNT. So, this one gets the worst game of the week of the Big 12. I think it's the big one. Cincinnati and Kansas, I think it's one of the bigger games in the Big 12 this week. They're both, only one loss. They're looking pretty good. I think we're looking at a really good game here. Loser probably going to be the middle of the conference. The winner of this game has a chance to make it to the Big 12 championship game. Look at Kansas' upcoming schedule. They beat Cincinnati, which I think they will. They got UCF. Kansas and UCF probably will be the big game that week from the Big 12. I think we have Miami over Florida State that week, so that's obviously going to overrule Kansas and UCF. Sorry, Big 12, but yeah. And then Texas Tech, Kansas got a tough schedule ahead. And Texas Tech out the way, they beat Utah. Texas Tech is definitely a really good team there. UCF might even be ranked by the time they get to that game as well. Kansas State, W, they're at the bottom. Oklahoma State, W, just fired Mike Gundy. Arizona, W, and then Iowa State. Wow. Just wow. What a schedule that is. All right. Moving on to Oklahoma, and I forgot to put it that they were at number 11 in this game. Let me fix that real quickly. Beating Auburn by apparently cheating, but still won. But even though it was in the second quarter, and they probably would have scored on that drive anyway, and Auburn had multiple chances to win this game, even had the lead. With 7 minutes to go in the game and blew it. So, can't blame the officials much on this one. And allowed 10 sacks, 24-17 for Oklahoma. All right, They got a bye week this week. It'll be next week. They got Kansas State at home on the SC Network at 3 o'clock. Oklahoma number 7 now on the AP rankings. Be hosting Kansas State. Like I already mentioned, Oklahoma's 4-0. Brett Venable doing a great job. So got about a week to prepare for this game and fix some mistakes from Auburn. And then they got the Red River Rivalry, October 11th, 2:30. I'm putting ABC on there because it feels like an ABC type game. ESPN has announced it's either going to be on ABC or ESPN. I think we're looking at a top 10 matchup here. It's likely going to be a game of the week. I think it's going to be an ABC type game at 2:30. Going to be a big one. And then South Carolina at South Carolina, 11 o'clock. And then hosting Ole Miss, Tennessee, Alabama, and Missouri is left. And then don't have another slot, but LSU will be up there as well. And then, do we have to talk about this? Yeah. Oklahoma State. Let's bring up the score. Tulsa beats OSU 19-12. Mike Gundy on a Friday night. Wow. I never thought that would be the last time we would see Mike Gundy. But great win for Tulsa. I'll talk about Tulsa here in a minute. But, yeah, let's look at Oklahoma State's upcoming game. They got Baylor, 2:30 on ESPN2. Well, they're hosting it. But, give me Baylor to get this win. Look at Oklahoma State's upcoming schedule. They're 1-2 now. 1-3 now. Forgot to update it. Yeah. I am not seeing a way. I think Mike Gundy, if Mike Gundy was coaching, beating Baylor, I think they should have kept Mike Gundy. They got Baylor, winnable to me. Arizona, winnable. Houston's going to be a tough one, and Cincinnati's going to be a tough one. But I would say this. If Mike Gundy, I think they should have given Mike Gundy a couple more weeks. Because it's like, all right, you have all the way up until Texas Tech to win a game. To get a momentum going. That's what I think. But, yep. I don't think Oklahoma State is winning the game the rest of the season now. I don't even know who's going to be the interim head coach now. All right, let's look at Texas. They were number 7 heading into this game. And they were 8. That's right, 8. It's playing Sam Houston. Complete domination, but against Sam Houston, Artemini had his moment. Taunting Sam Houston after a touchdown run, 55-0. Texas on a bye week. And they get Florida. I think it's gonna be. I think they said 2:30 on ESPN. I think now. It was last night when the schedule came out. I'm pulling it up right now. I haven't had a chance to update the graphic yet. Pulling it up now. 2:30. Yep. It'll be on either ESPN or ABC. But yeah, it is on. Will be at 2:30. All right. No idea what the network will be, but big game for Florida. They're hosting Texas, and a big game for Texas. Well, it's a big game because this is a game we find out what both teams are made out of, and yeah, and also add a chance to boost some momentum heading into the Red Rivalry game. Too. So, yeah. Big game, Texas, Florida, October 4th. But, yeah, that Miami and Florida State game, ooh, boy, that's got to be a big one that week as well. All right, the Golden Hurricane. Can't wait to talk about this one. Oh, yeah, showing this graphic here. Tulsa beats Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy ending his coaching career at his alma mater. 19-12. Had a hard time scoring touchdowns, but it got the job done. And, oh, yeah, here's one thing. I don't think Mike Gundy made halftime adjustments. All right, look at this. Tulsa up 16-0 at halftime. Yeah, Oklahoma State doesn't have an offense, but he fixed the defense, only allowing 3 points in the second half and made a comeback. Mike Gundy, he showed signs of life in that second half. Oklahoma State showed signs of life in that second half. Just ran out of time. I think Oklahoma State probably could have won this game if it was the defense they play in the second half. I don't think it's right that Mike Gundy got fired. I'm going to mention it a lot. I still think they should have let him finish the season. Anyway, Tulsa's got Tulane. Saturday, 3 o'clock, ESPNU. Gonna be a big game for both programs. Tulsa coming off of a historic win, a statement win. Tulane coming off a loss to Ole Miss. So both teams are fighting to keep their bowl eligibility alive. Yep, and Tulsa's upcoming schedule, they somehow beat Tulane. Ooh, they got a tough team of Memphis. Eastern Carolina, oh boy. Tulsa gonna get another win the rest of the season? I don't know, but it's gonna be really challenging for them. Alright, overrated and underrated time. My graphic is being slow here. There it goes. Alright, my first team up. My overrated team of the week, Illinois, number 9, top 10 matchup. On the road, but hey, you at least gotta be competitive on the road to your top 10 team. Riding the rankings all off-season long, all the way up until this week, just to lose to number 19 Indiana, 63-10. 53-point difference. 53-point loss for Illinois. My underrated team of the week is Texas Tech. We're back and forth battle the first 3 quarters against Utah on the road and just lit a fire in the 4th quarter. Yeah, only up 7 points to start the 4th quarter. Yeah, they took over that. On the road, 34-10 over Utah. Now on for my pick'em of the week. I went 6-4, not bad. I mean, I expected better, but, hey, a winning record, I'll take it. 37 points. 26-14 overall for the season with 133 points. Yeah, and, I got Miami right, of course. I don't even know why that was, the featured game that week, but, hey, and I got an easy win, and I'm closer to picking the correct score this time. But yeah, let's look at the spread. All right, spread. I did pretty much the same as the pick'em. 6-4. Keep. Now I'm back in the winning record now. 60 points. 21-19 for the season with 210 points. Yeah, Miami covered. Yep. Miami covered. Woo! Yay! I think last week, Georgia and Tennessee was the only game that I got wrong for covering and outright win as well. All right. Oh yeah, and also ESPN has not released their pick. Well, I'm sure it's out by now, the time of this recording, but as I was doing the editing, the pick'em for this week wasn't out yet. So, I haven't had, I'll do my pick'em later on this week, but, I guess I'm not doing, well, I'm doing a, well, I'll talk about how I'll do the option later in the show. Let's go ahead and jump into my rankings for the week. Starting off with that number 25, Michigan's now ranked, North Texas is ranked, USC and Indiana are ranked. Auburn falling to 24. 6 spots at the lost Oklahoma State. I still think Auburn deserves to be ranked. I know AP dropped them out of the rankings. I think Auburn still should be ranked. That was a good team. Auburn handled Oklahoma all the way up until the end, pretty much. To me, I think Auburn deserves to win that. No one, actually, if any team deserves to win that game, it was Auburn. But that officiating, we need a redo without the officials in that game. Missouri, Tennessee, Notre Dame, Alabama, and Ole Miss all jump up in my rankings on my top 20. Yep. Yeah, and I need to start putting the record on here as well for me to easily talk about these. But yeah, Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, Texas. Oh, I dropped Texas a little bit, mainly because I dropped Texas. They beat Sam Houston 55-0. I know the statement, but I kind of did an overall evaluation performance, how they've been so far. Yeah, 55-0, that's how I played, but I also did an evaluation of other teams, and I just felt like Florida State has looking better than Texas over, I mean, if Texas had played the other games like they played Sam Houston, yeah, Texas will probably still be number 1. But they haven't been. Florida State has been dominating all season long. And they have a good win, too. They have a ranked win. Texas doesn't. And Texas Tech has a win. And I led Texas Tech at 12, but kind of jumped Texas Tech over Texas, but kind of dropped Texas. I don't know, it was a little weird how I did. But Texas Tech gets a ranked win. Texas doesn't have a ranked win yet, so that's my reason for dropping Texas despite the win, because I put teams with ranked wins and undefeated teams ahead of Texas. So Texas, if you would have beaten Ohio State, you probably still be number 1 right now. Anyway, Vanderbilt, waiting for them. If I probably would have jumped Vanderbilt over Texas. Vanderbilt had a ranked win. Georgia Tech, well, I probably would have done it as well, but their ranked wins teams they have beaten have fallen off the planet. Clemson, Dabo Swinney. And yeah, moving on to my top 10 has remained unchanged. Yep, there it is. Ohio State, Notre Dame, BYU, Iowa State, A&M, Oklahoma, Georgia, Oregon, LSU, and Penn State. In that order, from 10 to 1. Alright, let's compare my rankings to the AP. Yeah, what a dominating, well, why was I say dominating? What a ranking from the AP. They're finally looking a little closer than mine. For some reason, well, Miami struggled a little bit to Florida, but did close out the win, and they jumped to number 2. LSU finally had a dominating game. Plowing play some offense, it fell apart. Penn State, I mean, yeah, they haven't been tested yet, but fall. Okay. Why in the world did Florida State fall? I'm a little confused on that. But, hey. They do have Florida State higher than I do, so I can guess they're going to line up with me eventually. But look at that. Oklahoma in the top 10 and number 7 now. Texas falls to number 10, so hey, I'm not the only one to drop Texas. Indiana. I think Indiana should be ahead of Texas, but hey, that's just the AP. I don't have Indiana having Texas either, so yeah. Just have to see. I think Illinois is just terrible. Why in the world Illinois is still ranked? And why is there not a Group of 5 team not ranked yet? Dang, and I think Vanderbilt's a little low on here too. That's just my opinion. Let's look at my rankings. Or not my ranking, but my playoffs. Alright. I got North Texas, number 23. I actually had North Texas ranked now. I had them in my playoff spot last week, but I had them in. But, yeah, I got Oklahoma versus North Texas. Got to be a good game. I'd love to see that game. Miami, BYU, Florida State A&M, Ohio State, Iowa State. Woo! Yeah, this is my top 10 pretty much stayed the same. I really didn't make much change to my playoff. AP made a few changes to there, so AP wants a Red River Rivalry game rematch, of course, and they still have South Florida as their highest group of 5 teams so far against Georgia. And even though Indiana is at 11, there is not a Big 12 team in the top 11. So that Big 12 team will actually go to Texas Tech. They are at 12. Yeah, there is not a Big 12 team in the top 10, pretty much. Yeah, the highest Big 12 team is Texas Tech at 12. Yeah. And then LSU, Ohio State, Penn State, and Miami all get the bye week. All right, before we jump into our big game for college football this week, let's do some NFL. Get some NFL some spotlight. The Bears handled the Cowboys 31-14. Chiefs beat the Giants 22-9. Finally, a big win for the Chiefs. Eagles beat the Rams 33-29 in a close game. And the Lions and the Rams, an offensive power in the first quarter. I mean, every pass was caught in that first half. Defense settled in second half. Lion handled the Ravens 38-30. It was quite a entertaining game to watch, especially on the Manning cast. And I forgot to update the Ravens record on here after that win. They are now 1-2 now, heading into the Chiefs. Gotta be a big game, but yeah, looking at the game, some of the games this coming week. Yeah, Ravens, Chiefs, both 1-2. Chiefs actually is starting to gain some momentum now after that win. Cowboys got the Packers, NBC, for some reason. The two big games this week will be the Eagles and the Buccaneers, both undefeated, and the Colts and the Rams. 3 o'clock on Fox. Alright. Fan content now. I got a bunch for you. I got some really good ones for y'all this week. Let's start off with Tulsa Friday Night Lights. Yeah. Had you met Tulsa's mascot, Gut T? Yeah. Yeah, he's a Hurricane mascot. And cool looking, too. Also, at the time this graphic was shown on the broadcast, it was 109 minutes since Oklahoma State's last touchdown. They did score on that drive. Also, this Cowboy fan. Wow. Just wow. Also, this is not how Van Dynes work college game day. Also, yeah, tested undefeated teams on the left, untested teams on the right. What do the middle teams mean? Arizona, I think, is an untested team. Missouri, I think, was tested. Ole Miss was tested. Tulane, not tested. NC State, not tested. What is this graphic? Also, Houston is missing from this game, and they are untested so far. What is this graphic? I'm sorry. This is one of the worst graphics I've ever seen, and it's hilarious. Also, packing up coffee, ending college game day. Ended the show. That's how he ended the show. Jumping into a pool on a high dive. And Tulane went 0-6 with 0 yards. With just 4 minutes left into the second quarter. What a graphic. Yeah, only 5 rushes for 46 yards. Yeah, that's their quarterback stat for the day. Also, Dubbo losing to unranked teams. From 2012 to 2020, only 2. from 2021 to 2025, 8. Devlin's got some work to do since losing Brett Venables. Also, Virginia Tech coaching candidates. Yeah, Jimbo Fisher, apparently. Jimbo Fisher, maybe. But, why in the world is Beamer on this list? He's not leaving South Carolina anytime soon. And go ahead and put North Texas on this graphic, too. Add into this graphic. Oklahoma defense, 10 sacks for the day. Wow. Single game record. Look at that crowd. Also, Missouri had 200 yards in rushing. South Carolina had -8. And I've seen anytime you have watched USC play on Fox broadcast for the last couple years with their graphic packet they've been using, I have noticed that there is a white background in the S in their logo. I've noticed it for the last couple of years. Finally, someone points it out. Weird that I think it's very weird that there's a white background in the USC's background, USC's logo, but not in the C. I don't get it. I don't get it. Alright. Now time for the option! Yeah. I still have yet to have a chance to put the option graphic in, so I made a temporarily version real quickly. So I'm basically, since I haven't made my pick 'em yet on ESPN graphic yet, so I'm basically you're seeing my live picks right now on the option, just like on American Indian, just like y'all used to see. So here we go. Starting off with the the Atlantic Coast Conference. Number 8, Florida State versus Virginia. Friday Night Lights. This could be a big one. Number 8, Florida State. Gotta be tested. Virginia is a good team. And it's Friday Night Lights. Anything can happen on Friday. 6 o'clock ESPN. Tulsa could end up beating Oklahoma State apparently. But, Florida State, I got Florida State winning this game. Number 16, Georgia Tech versus Wake Forest. This game back on Saturday, 11 o'clock, ESPN. Wake Forest has a chance to pull off an upset. It's a trap game for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech is going to end up winning this game. On to some other big games around the conference. Got Duke and Syracuse, 11 o'clock on the ACC network. And then Louisville versus Pitt, 11 o'clock on ESPN2. Both of these are going to be good games and key games to pay attention to in the ACC. Syracuse, after playing how I thought they'd play against Syracuse, how Syracuse beat Clemson is the way how I thought they would play against Tennessee. Woo! I'm a little relieved after that because I was a little hyping up Syracuse. I mean, I'm not expecting Syracuse to win the ACC, but I expect them to at least make a bowl game this year. But hey, they're 3-1 now. They're looking great. They've beaten Duke. They reclaimed my hype over them as well. All right, moving on to the Big Ten. Graphic not loading. There it goes. USC and Illinois. And Illinois redeemed themselves. They're at home this time. USC is probably going to win. Rutgers in Minnesota. Going to be a big game as well. Low clock on the Big Ten network. Big game from the Big Ten. Winner is probably going to go to a bowl game. And then 2:30 on CBS. Number 1 is in a trap game against Washington. They're 3-0 on CBS. Ohio State versus Washington. Gonna be a big game for sure. And then 2:30 on the Peacock Network. I'm not paying $10 to watch this game, but number 11, Indiana versus Iowa. Number 11, Indiana versus Iowa. 2:30 on the Peacock streaming service. Yeah. Give me Ohio State W and Indiana W. Yeah, but that was the trap game for Ohio State for sure. And the big game, oh, I think I meant to skip this one. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, that was the last one. I meant to skip that graphic. I should have just taken it out. All right, moving on to the Big 12. Got a big one. Number 24, TCU versus the Arizona Friday Night Lights. 8 o'clock on Fox. It's a late game, but it's going to be a good one. TCU, are they continue to move that momentum up? I got TCU winning this game on the road. Some other big games around the Big 12. I do not know. My graphic keeps adding the C on the UCF. I don't know why it keeps doing that. But, yeah. 1 o'clock on FS1. UCF versus K-State. UCF W. 2:30 on Fox. Utah versus West Virginia. Utah wins. 6 o'clock on ESPN. Be Arizona versus number 14, Iowa State. I think that's a trap game for Iowa State. Iowa State's going to win, but it's a trap game for sure. And then, packed Big 12 after dark, 9:15 ESPN. Number 25, BYU's got a trap game with Coach Prime. BYU will get the W here. And moving on to the SEC. The SEC's got some big ones as well. Look at the smaller ones. First, Notre Dame and Arkansas. 11 o'clock on ABC. That's a win for Notre Dame. 2:30 on ESPN. It's Auburn versus A&M. Now, this is a trap game for A&M because I think Auburn would play with the better team against Oklahoma majority of that game. So this is a trap game for Auburn. I think Auburn, trap game for A&M. Auburn's gonna be, they will come out in this game and they will give A&M problems for sure. But we'll see. The way A&M beat Notre Dame, and if Notre Dame's really that good, a playoff team as well, like everyone thought, Notre Dame should be able to handle Auburn very well. And whoops, I forgot to talk about the other two games. Yeah, real quickly. And why does my graphics for some reason has been doing some typos this week. Not at 3!5. It'll be 3:15 SEC Network, number 15 Tennessee versus Mississippi State. Gonna be a big game. Tennessee wins. 6:45 on the SEC Network as well. Kentucky versus South Carolina. South Carolina, I think Beamer is finally going to get some momentum. And then a big one from the SEC, LSU versus Ole Miss. Number 4 versus number 13, 2:30 ABC. Oh boy. Who's going to win this game? Off the top of my head, I am going to go with the team that has had some swagger lately, and a team that I have been thinking that has been has a preseason favorite to be a top 5 team this year. We finally had some momentum last couple of weeks. LSU, they're number 2 in my ranking, number 4 in the AP ranking. I think this is gonna be a really big win for LSU on the road. Give me LSU with this win. And then number 17, Alabama versus number 5, Georgia. Georgia, 6:30 ABC. Easy win for Georgia. I think Georgia's gonna sweep Alabama in this game for sure, especially after what happened last year. And then the group of 5 just got one big one. Right first is Navy. Yeah, I finally get to see what Navy is. 3-0. Wow. So now I know that Navy is the big team from the Surface Academy. But Rice is 3-1. They have some momentum the last couple of weeks. 2:30 CBS Sports Network. Navy gets the win. Moving on to 4-0. All right, and then now it's time for Underdog game of the week. I am not 1-2. I am 2-2 now. Yes, I am 2-2 with a good win. I got well, my underdog last week was on Scott Van Pel's bad beat this week for a good reason. I got the W. I got the win. Temple covered. Temple ended up meeting Georgia. I need to make like a smaller side graphic here for this, but yeah. Temple didn't win, but they covered last minute to cover against Georgia Tech. So I'm 2-2 now, and I'm looking into all the games this week, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get another L. All the games this week are gonna be hard to pick. So I'm going with California versus Boston College. 2:30 ACC Network. Boston College is favored by 6.5 points. Yes, I know I said I'm gonna do double-digit games, but this week I'm making an exception because all the double-digit games I think are gonna stay double-digit wins. Those teams, they're gonna win them for sure. Gotta dominate. But this game specifically, and especially after the way California lost to San Jose State last week, I think California not gonna win, but I think they are gonna cover in this game. Boston College has been struggling lately, same with California. California might actually win this game. I think California. I think when I saw that Boston College favored by 6.5 points, I think California was just a fluke last week. I think California not only is going to cover, they're going to get an outright win in this. Do not quote me on this. I am predicting California has the ability to win this game, but I think they will cover in this game. I think they will make their adjustments after last week. Horrible game, and win this and cover this week and play a lot closer game. And for some reason, that is not my game of the week. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Oh yeah, number 6 Oregon versus number 3 Penn State. The game of the week. College game is gonna be down there. 6:30 on NBC. NBC gets another big game. And, oh boy, I gotta pick this game off the top of my head. You wanna know what? I think Penn State's been a little underrated. This would be their first true test, but Oregon has been putting up some points lately. So this is a hard test, but Penn State's on the road. I think this is the statement win Penn State's finally going to get. I've got Penn State finally getting a W at home and take the number 1 spot in the AP rankings and continue to stay number 1 in my ranking. This is probably the longest I've had my number 1 team in my rankings, and my number 1 team's on the line here, so I'm ready. I'm ready for this game. Alright, thank you all for watching Slater Podcast. Y'all see you, wow, just a little. So with the AI last week, I went 15 minutes. Without AI, I am about to hit an hour. I probably, without the Mike Gundy breaking news, I probably would have went the same length. So why in the world my show shorter? Also, probably not gonna do the AI again. I don't know. I didn't like that so much. It pretty much had the same vibe anyway. But, yep. That's going to do it for my show this week. See y'all next time. This Slater Report Podcast.